$320,000 for a degree in music. Are you out of your f***ing mind? Hey everybody, Jeff Schneider here, and today we're talking about music school and getting real about what you're actually paying for, whether this kind of investment makes any sense, and if you can get the same results without being buried under a mountain of soul-crushing debt. To start, let's rewind the clock to 1997 and talk about
Matt Damon.
Remember that iconic scene from Good Will Hunting where Will schools that arrogant Harvard student? He tells him he could have gotten the same education for $1.50 in late charges at the public library. So here's my question. Can we apply that same logic to music school? Well, I looked up a few conservatories online just now, and 1 year of tuition will set you back around $80,000. 4 years, that's $320,000. That's a house, a f***ing house. Or if you're feeling fancy, you could travel first class all over the world multiple times. Or better yet, you could fill your driveway with 14 Hyundai Elantras. Who wouldn't want 14 of those? But before we zero in on music school specifically, let's talk about college in general. The price keeps shooting through the roof, but the experience is basically unchanged. You really have to ask, is the cost of any college justified? Now, if you're planning on being a doctor or a lawyer, yeah, you kind of need that piece of paper. But in music, nobody cares about your degree. All that matters is that you can actually play. And we'll get more into that in a second. Okay, so what exactly do you get for dropping 80 grand a year at music school? Well, I think the biggest draw is access to world-class musicians and teachers. So when I chose to go to New England Conservatory, I wanted to study with Jerry Bergonzi and Charlie Banakis. That was huge for me. But it's not just about the private lessons. You're also getting high-level classes, you're playing in ensembles, you're performing constantly, and you're immersed into this community of musicians who are just as obsessed with their craft as you are. Plus, you get 24/7 practice space, which is a pretty sweet deal when you think about how hard it can be to find a place to shed without getting noise complaints. Anyway, by the end of your 4 years, you've learned a ton, logged thousands of hours of practice, and hopefully developed as a musician. And you also walk away with a degree. But unless you're planning on staying in academia, that degree doesn't hold much weight. Just like music schools don't care about prospective students' SAT scores, people hiring you for gigs or sessions don't really care about your degree. They care about how well you can actually play. So here's the real question. Can you recreate the music school experience on your own? The answer is kinda. Look, a lot of these world-class musicians who teach at top schools also give private lessons on the side. Even if they charge $200 a pop, you're still saving a massive chunk of change compared to dropping $80K a year. And when it comes to ensemble opportunities, you can move to a city with a vibrant music scene. You'll find jam sessions, rehearsal bands, and even short-term programs that offer similar experiences to music school. For example, when I was in high school, I joined this youth jazz orchestra in New York City. It was called Jazz Band Classic, and it was made up of top-tier high school and college-age musicians. I take the train into the city every Monday night for rehearsals. We played high-level charts and even performed with guest artists, all for a cost that was pennies compared to what you'd pay at a conservatory. And as for the classes they teach at music school on music theory and composition, arranging and ear training, let's be real, that information is more accessible than ever thanks to YouTube and countless online courses. Check out jeffschneidermusic.com/courses to learn more. Now, I'll give music school credit for one thing: structure. You've got deadlines, expectations, and a curriculum to keep you on track. You're paying for accountability. Can you recreate that on your own? Yeah, but it's not easy, especially if you're a 19-year-old who still doesn't know how to wash a dish. The school makes it simple. They hand you everything: teachers, ensembles, practice space, all wrapped up with a nice little bow. But is that convenience worth $80,000 a year? Truth is, it might actually do more harm than good. Let me explain. Here's the thing about music school. It puts you in a bubble, a nice, cozy bubble where everyone around you is as obsessed with music as you are. Sounds great, right? But when your 4 years are up and the bubble pops, reality hits hard. You graduate and realize that in the real world, nobody cares about you or your music. Now, if you don't go to music school, yeah, life might be tougher and much less convenient, But here's the flip side. You develop real-world skills, street smarts. You learn how to hustle, network, and get yourself gigs. These are the skills that actually keep you afloat. And guess what? Music school ain't teaching you that. All right, here's some good news. You don't have to go all in on the DIY route or dump $320,000 on a pretty much useless degree. A lot of schools offer one-year certificate programs. You get access to the teachers, the community, and the classes, but without committing to a full 4-year degree. It's a smaller investment and you get the benefits of structure and convenience, and then you can build on that with your own self-directed learning. All right, let's wrap this up. For most people, yeah, music school is a waste of money. Going into insane debt for something you can mostly recreate on your own, that's nuts, especially when being a musician isn't exactly the path to a 6-figure salary. Even if you have the cash to burn, I'd recommend investing it in private lessons or short-term programs and gaining life experience by living in a new city or traveling the world. At the end of the day, music school gives you that convenience and structure. There's no doubt about that. But if you're willing to put in the effort, you can build your own path, and in doing that, you'll gain the kind of grit and real-world smarts that music school just can't teach. So what do you think? Is music school worth it, or is the DIY approach the better choice? I know this is a big conversation. I'm interested to hear what you think. Let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.